in the past, I feel like I gave myself this goal of I like I don't want to be the type of person to mess things up, to be
Mhm.
a screw up, because I felt like that like I felt like being the screw up was the worst thing for me to be.
Right.
But then I realized that by having that goal, that i- in my mind, it's like the only way I could I could think of how not to screw up is to not take action at all.
Mhm.
So I felt like subconsciously I always shied away from action, and it takes a lot to get me to. It takes a lot for myself to get myself to act, to move. So like for example, a concrete example of this is that recently I'm working on moving out from my mom's house,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to get the whole paperwork, the getting the gas and electric all sorted and stuff. But because this is all new to me, and like I'm scared that like if I do something, like I'm scared that I screw things up like to retarded level. So like,
Yeah.
and it, yeah, and it's just like I don't get to I don't I've been like I've been slowing down the process because I'm just so scared that like, oh my god, like you're gonna screw things up somehow. I don't know how, but somehow you're gonna screw things up, and it's gonna end with you going to jail or something. And I'm just like, that's retarded. It's just like that's what I believe. You get me?
I get, yeah. So actually, I just did an Instagram post on this. That is so funny. Like 2 days ago, I remember writing this. I said, one really important thing I've learned about life is that oftentimes you have to make things happen. When you want something bad enough, you can't afford to sit and wait for the stars to align. Most of the time, they never will.
Yeah,
Instead, you have to go out there and start taking actions and figuring out the plan along the way. It's easy to get caught up in trying to figure out all the details and thinking about what could go wrong and then pass on an opportunity and never take action. I've done it plenty of times in my life. But sometimes you just have to take a deep breath, decide to do the thing, and then just do it. Commitment is a very big key to success in life. I remember signing up for my first marathon. The question in my head was, can I actually do this? I could spend months training and trying to answer that question, but instead I just signed up and then decided I'd figure out how to actually do it as I went. If I had never just taken that bold action and signed up, if I had just waited for the stars to align, chances are I would never run a marathon in my life. Sometimes in life, you can't worry about how it's all going to work out. You just have to trust you'll work it out and commit. So, what are you doing? What are you avoiding doing that you know you need to do right now? So, basically, what I'm saying here is that, look, like let's say with like moving out, right? You need to just do it and then figure out all the steps, right? Because if you try and figure out, oh, I want to get everything aligned and figure out all these bills and utilities and stuff like that, it's going to be a never ending thing. You're going to be second guessing yourself. Instead, you just take the action, just go and rent the new apartment, whatever it is, and move out, and then figure out that you're going to figure everything out along the way. That's, I mean, that's just kind of how life is. And part of that also is that, like, you can be afraid of failure, but failure is necessary in order to progress, right? So think of it as like, let's say that I said, all right, in order for you to become successful at whatever you want to do, you need to go and experience 10 failures first, right? When you think of it that way, then you realize that failure is a step in the process. And if you're avoiding the failure, you're avoiding the first step, right? Because whatever you do, I mean, I failed plenty of times. Failure is a necessary step to move forward. And so you can kind of rethink about things and start thinking about them in terms of, I'm ready to go and fail so that I can learn, so I can hit the next step. Instead of thinking I need to just be successful, you think I need to just take the action to get where I need to go, because if I keep on taking that action, I'll eventually get there. And part of that path involves failure with a lowercase f, right? You only fail with a capital F when you actually give up and you stop working. But it's okay to have setbacks along the way. It's okay to have, those experiences. And, I talk about all the time that the only reason why you ever fail at anything is because of either a lack of discipline or a lack of knowledge, right? And so whichever one you're lacking, you can't control right now. So you just have to go forward and do something, and then you'll figure out which one it is. And then, and then you'll adjust and you'll try again and keep going. And that's really what the path looks like as opposed to, just trying to get everything right. You're going to screw something up. Like it's better to have the rationale that you're going to screw things up. You're going to have failure. So better to adapt and learn to deal with those things than try to do things perfectly.